Hi, I'm Chris Vangelus, and for the first time ever, I am hosting a stream live here, on the internet, and you're watching it. That's how you can hear what I'm saying. You might think, oh, I'm not looking at the tab right now. You're watching it. There's a whole lot in your field of view, and you can only focus on so much. I'm there somewhere. Hey, I'm gonna scroll this up for a second, say hello to V Rider and Long was here, and Oma Ender, and Mischievous Turtle, and Sam Wellbell, and Glix Blurt, and Quacky, and Adam Rockmore, and Mistake Boy, and Switcheruby, and Scorp, and Dynamo Dave, and Tom Bot, and Chris Muse, and Griff, and Robot Lorekeeper, and Shia, and oh, it scrolled, which was actually my TFA Cliff, Mimicry, Lano Joe, I get him, Queen of Sodor, I am Cripsy. Hello everyone. Welcome to the stream. Things are working today, it seems. Maybe. But yeah, we're here to rip some toys open, as it were. I also have I have an update. I have an update on the stationery front. I have 2 more fountain pens from AliExpress. Now, in my defense, one of them was $10 shipped. It's actually not in reach. It's in my wallet. But the other one was like $35 shipped, but it's a good one. It's exactly like one I already have, but I wanted a second one because they're vacuum fillers. I have that one here. Hang on a second. I do have that one here. Here, let me show you. Let me show you what I've got. I don't. What the hell is that? Get out! Get out! Anyway, this is the important thing. This is my second Asvine V196, I think it is. Anyway, I'm very happy with these. I had some bad luck with the first one, but I just had to change a nib, and it was good. This one was great, except when I took it apart to try to clean the nib at first, I lost the O-ring. But thankfully, I have 4 nibs, and they each have 2 O-rings, so I just stole one and stuck it on here. As for how the stationery has been going, I am writing something down every day, and it's really helping me not forget as many things as I tend to forget, because I am terrible at staying organized, which is really bad when I'm a freelancer who is technically also my own boss. So it's been helpful. Now, granted, in like my checklists, every Monday, anything I didn't do, I just carry over to the next week. And if it's been multiple weeks, I put a number for how many weeks it's been. I have one item that's now on to week 5 of not being done, but I'm remembering it because it's there, and that's already better than how things were before. Now let's get back to the important camera. Hi, it's me again. Fountain pens of G.I. Joe spines. Yeah, I mean, this one is a vac filler, so it has lots of squidgy parts because you're supposed to push a piston down, which creates a vacuum, and it goes pa, and then it sucks a bunch of ink up through its breather hole, which is between the tines of the nib. I don't know what a hyperfocus is. I've never heard of it in my entire life. I am absolutely 100% neurotypical. Higgledy-piggledy stuff with O-rings is fine, surely. Yeah, I had to just steal another O-ring. They sell O-rings too, but I was like, I already have a few, so. Lee, what's up? You welcome just in time for breather hole. Now, what else do I have to do? My upkeep. The code. I got it ready. Oh, it's big this time, but the code is still, if you are a toy hackser of sorts, the code remains for this month, QT Vangelus. Speaking of being a cutie, that's me. I was trying to put a fun clip in my hair that I got from a cool artist named Yolkness, and I realized I don't know how hair clips work, so I gave up. But one of these days, because I have a part here, and the way they cut my part last time I went to the barber is fine, but it's very good at having just a bit too much weight on the outskirt longer hairs, and they start flopping over, and I was like, maybe I should shove a clip in there. And I happen to have a pair of festive, gem-laden hair clips from an artist named Yolkness, but I don't know how they work. So I gave up, because I had like a minute before I had to turn the stream on. But you know what? We all have quests to do, and we have things to achieve in this life. Like, hey, you know what? You're all doing one thing really well. None of you are in the Epstein files, which is making its way to every corner of every industry, because the writers are real lazy, it turns out. They called the ship Samsara. Anyway, on the desktop, you didn't see this before. This is hidden in the background, but I also have a toy to open up. This is Venin. It's an Age of the Primes toy I've had since, like, November, I think. So this one's been chilling out. He's been ripening quite well for the last, like, 2 months. Don't be so sure. Uh-oh. Did you search us all? Yes. So hey, listen, I just did your average, you know, syntax search. If you're up to enough crime that you were hidden from that search, then that just means you're a big old crime and you need to get hit with some of that old Venin. I'm just gonna shove my thumbs into Venin's window. Oh, that was easy. You let these boxes ripen, they just fall apart like nothing. This is... For a second, I was like, did Venin come with a tiny figure? No, this is my Isamu that just lives over here with the models I painted 2 years ago, sort of. So we've got our instructions. I love Venin so much. I impulse bought him despite not knowing who he was. He was so good it made me want the rest of the Insecticons. Yeah, I skipped the cartoon Insecticons because I looked at them and I just felt nothing. So it was one of the first times in this decade where I had many opportunities to purchase mainline deluxes and just kind of went like, I don't know. And then they all came out in better colors with like cooler toolings, and so I was like, I guess I won. Nothing wrong with Insecticon colors. It's just I like the deluxe Insecticon colors more. And also the deluxe Insecticons, classically pretty disrespected as the decades have gone on, especially this guy. Got him for Christmas mostly because my mom asked what Transformers I wanted. I said surprise me. It's always nice when surprise me goes well, in my opinion. Get this tissue paper out of here. The deluxe Insecticons were Beatrice repurposes. So they don't even know what pilots are, man. What are these little guys? Why do the three Insecticons you got here first, why do they have chairs in them? Messed up. I actually can't remember if Beatrice had pilots. Oh, we got that funny thing going on. Yeah, this just means that mine is, like, better than the rest of yours. It's just a thing that'll happen sometimes. I'm curious why this filter is still on, actually. I'm curious why any filter is on for green. Because you can't see through the chat anyway. Did this thing just carry one over? Oh, wait, what's this? Okay, so what was this doing? I wonder why I had that on. Oh, I remember why. Okay, I remember why. It was from trying to use that background that didn't fit into my seating space in this room. Oh, this is happening in real life. If your Venin doesn't do this, you gotta bunk one. You gotta get it returned. Demand a replacement that does the active camo trick. Anyway. Shattered glass. Hey, he's too luscious of a green. Although this is... If you're seeing what I'm seeing in my monitor, that's not indicative of the green he is. That looks... What I'm seeing looks way more pale than what I'm seeing in real life. In real life, this is a lot more like a really kind of like... It's got a heavier saturation grass green feel. On screen, I'm seeing something that looks more slightly desaturated pea green. I don't know, that's... You know what? That's YouTube's problem, not mine. That's, I wonder if I turn him in different directions, does the green change at all? Is he one of those funny colors? No, I'm not seeing anything. Anyway, we gotta do something very important. Yeah, Mimicry, his colors are great in person. This is, you know, some Titans Return, reverse Titans Return blur stuff going on here. Venin's giant glorious head is making the dab harder, but as long as you come at this from the right angle, it's happening. I know there's a billion ways people have arranged the wings and everything. I'm just gonna wave them around a lot. Oh, neat. Whoa! Okay. It's, yeah, I would call it maybe not an S tier dab, more like an A- tier. I have to be more critical these days, you know. I have to have my street cred. But yeah, this is the deluxe Insecticon that we thought wouldn't get made because he either doesn't look enough like one of the other purple and black ones, or he looks too much like Ransack to be retooled. So, but then they just went ahead and just made a brand new one, so I guess we all win. Chest wings and battle apron, yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot he comes with this, he doesn't... Okay, I guess he does have... Evo Fusion! So he does have a hatchet set up here. Yeah, the apron look, I actually don't mind that much. What is he gonna do when I give this to him as a gun? Or is he just, like, badass enough? He's like, who... I'm sorry, noob, you need a handle for your hatchet? Yeah, he does... What does he need this for? He just friggin'... just go at you with the axe head. He's gonna raw dog it. Mozatron ripped to the paper. Oh, yeah, when I opened, was it Wind Charger that I opened last stream where the paper was also gone and they did plastic? I guess they're just doing... I guess we're just abandoning ship on the Green Initiative. Oh, well, we did our best. Really, this is the fault of the community for complaining so much about the wind. Tuck the hand in for a better-looking axe arm. Oh, there you go. Yeah, what's this handle business about? Who kind of small-timer? Although I kind of like this, too, just because this is so, like, I don't know, this has an unhinged feel to it. Someone who's just running around with an axe head. Hatchet and wings in front make him look like a butcher. Yeah, yeah. It's the butcher's apron. I mean, because, like, G1 Venom, right? As far as I recall, maybe it was in a comic. So this is one of those Generation 1 Transformers characters who is essentially a blank slate. Like, I'm saying, like, he, him, because, like, for some reason the Insecticons just tend to do that. Really, you know, Venom can be whoever you want them to be. I think that on their Transformers TCG card, maybe they did use he, him, actually. But I can't recall. Someone look that up for me, because I don't want to. It's too much work. This guy was in Wave 2 of the Transformers TCG with a notably weird and too difficult to use character card that I think people have tried to make work since then. Reminds me a lot of late 2010s Drum Corps uniforms, which had a lot of little coattails and surcoat bits. Yeah, I can see that. Like, these are all these little, like, these little trailing bits on the back. There's, like, some really cool, I don't know, some cool peacock stuff going on here, because you have them all down, but then, like, when Venom wants to, like, mate, or show dominance, you can, like, flip them all up. It's like, I'm big now! He's had a fair few appearances, really. Maybe should have appeared more memorably. I'm sure Venon's been in, like, comics and stuff plenty of times. I just don't remember any of it. Because I'm just not used to seeing this character drawn outside of, like, background shots. Fin funnels, yeah, exactly. And, like, you know, I like to operate in a very, like, simple way. If I can't remember a Transformer doing anything, then nobody ever wrote for them in the entirety of our human history. It's kind of like how nobody, like, everyone was making these, like, weird, legacy, Beachcomber customs, because that toy didn't exist until last week. And it's really messed up that people were doing that, but such is. There's something really going on here with the wings being just a costume element like this. I kind of like it. It's all fun and games till he starts flying towards your face like real cicadas. The TCG card has that axe head just like, what, just holding it like this? That's great. Let me go take a look at something. Alright. I looked at something. I would like to transform this into an insect now. I ripped his hand off. Oh, no, I didn't. Nothing happened. Shh. If he was in Dreamwave Micromasters, I'm absolutely not going to remember anything that he did. Oh, the G1 toy had a funny axe head axe too. All right. Well, then this is nostalgia accurate. Respect your roots. Something. His big personality trait is that he's a big old paranoid guy. Well, I mean, you got people like me just coming at him going like, no one ever even wrote you into a show! What are you doing here? And it's like everyone's out to get me. Even the friggin' bug lover is out to get me. Oh, did he get killed by Blaze Master? Again, what does this mean? That when you say he got killed by the helicopter guy in a Micromaster's book, my immediate thought is, oh, classic Transformers character Blaze Master, the homicidal, murderous Autobot helicopter who likes to slowly melt Decepticons and hear them scream. Because that was a bio they wrote for him once. So one little issue I'm going to be contending with here is I don't actually remember exactly what shape of robot insect we are aiming for with Venin here. So I'm going to be kind of guesstimating it. Blaze Master, more like Besada Master. Oh, jeez. Why would... Okay, hang on. I gotta be an enthusiast here for a second. I have to be a big old scholar of Transformers canon for a moment. So Blaze Master is famous for pouring molten fire onto robots and hearing them scream. So why is he just like stabbing him? Why is he just... This is all we get? Pathetic. No wonder I forgot about this comic book. Also, you want to see a classic Micromaster bit? Concentrate on Blaze Master there, and now concentrate on the size of his face compared to the size of his head, compared to the size of his body. And that's the Micromaster's aesthetic from Dreamwave. Is people got these teeny tiny faces. Yeah, Payback is a bot. It's interesting because, like, Venin doesn't really have a normal face and therefore is just drawn normally. But then poor Blaze Master there has human features, and so he's got, like, a thumb-sized face. I think if you actually look at the thumb here, it is roughly equivalent in size to the entire face. Obviously, his head is much further away than his torso. Long River, you're absolutely right. This is on me. I should go back to doing what I'm good at. I should stay in my lane. I don't actually know what is supposed to go where. But I see tabs and I see slots, so I can guesstimate a little bit. Oh, I get it. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Naruhodo. Naruhodo. Sad news about Yakuza, huh? So Dane. There we go. There's like a little spacer in here that you gotta like fold back and then flatten. From what I understand, basically what happened to poor Yakuza as a studio is that, like, some director who'd been there since Yakuza 2 and was completely fine and normal is now in charge of the studio and instantly lost his mind. Is what sounds like happened over there. So that's unfortunate. That's at least my little understanding here. Oh, here we go. We got Venom's one appearance in Marvel, where he dies. Perfect. Oh, it's even in Time Wars. Perfect. Yeah, there you go. There's he's over. Well, thanks, Venom. You can tell it's him because of the shape of his head. Yeah, the actual, as I understand it, yeah, the actual Yakuza, like, former lead of that series is off doing his legally distinct Yakuza, and the director who took over is losing his mind, and being incredibly weird. We got a really good follow-up, too, to a previous point that was made. Thank you, Lee. Let's go back to desktop. I think the Deluxe Insectic... Didn't some of them die in... Or am I thinking of Reflector? No, it's Reflector who died in, Spotlight Wheelie. Yeah, hey guys, nice to meet you. I'm Ven... No, we don't need to show the other one. There's what do you call it? The meme, the evil has been defeated, etc. Not in my time. Hang on, what? Does the orange go into the orange? Oh, it does. There's a rectangle thing there, and there is a rectangular slot there. So I'm on track to ace this. The shoulder is not supposed to do that. Well, it's a good thing it didn't. It's a good thing it just went inwards as one might expect it to. Yeah, Reflector, the toy distinct reflectors died in Spotlight Wheelie. IDW Venom has dialogue. Who allowed this? Oh, I see. There are 2 tabs and 2 slots there. Oh, he doesn't have a little thing. Oh, that's just his mouth. Oh, yeah, right. His eyes become his mouth. As you do. Wait, why are there tabs on here? Oh, these actually, like, tab in back here. Why would I do that? Yeah, you can tab the wings in. For some reason. You could also just put them there. Oh, those were all yeah, sorry. I mean toy distinct reflector in that there may be 3 colors visible. You know, if you're looking at it in a certain way. I actually can't remember how they explained all that. Venom showed up in More Than Meets the Eye as a member of the Titan Hunters under... Oh, yeah, right. I kind of remember that. I do appreciate that these legs are on, like, ball socket connections that are slightly stiff, so you can kind of down point them. Oh, yeah, I mean, like, what flavor of time travel they use. Like, did they use ranch? Did they use sour cream and onion? Did they do Parmesan garlic? Maybe a little pepper focaccia. I like the idea of a cicada that's, like, minding its own business and also has an axe head on one side of its body and a gun on the other. So it's just like, look, let me do my cicada business, or I'm gonna murder you. It was Buffalo, thank you. Reflector stole a time-traveling ship way later on to explain how they died in Spotlight Wheelie, despite the fact they were all still alive in the comics. They should have just had more reflectors. That's kind of the way I like to roll with it in my head. Is just there is a sort of cult gang of reflectors, and then the toy color ones are the three who consider they each consider themselves the original reflector, and then there's, like, you know, a billion purple and like a billion purple gray reflectors. And then the three special colored ones camouflage themselves as purple-gray ones. But sometimes when the Syndicate has to reveal itself, its leadership, the head of the snake must rise up. Then they, you know, decloak, and they're like, "It's me, the original." That toy guy, Paper Plane, says that he smells. Well, you know, that's the first step to realizing we have a problem is self-awareness. So what I would say is that he's gotta do something to clean that up. Clean up that act, frankly. Barbecue beef time travel will always be superior. Yeah, but if you get too much of that umami, then like your time travel is going to be overwhelming to the palate. Yeah, Scrapface Gang being like either elites or some kind of like rebellious offshoot. Yeah, just with the reflectors. I like the idea of leaning into their pluralization. Actually, I want to see where they say to put the stuff in bug mode. I picked the exact same sides that they would have. Oh, I feel so smart now. Anyway, I like the idea of leaning into the pluralization of the reflectors, especially when they have, you know, like Siege Reflector, a toy I love greatly. He's able to just infinitely combine into the world's widest camera. It's that massive-ass thing in the top corner. What? Does anyone else see that? I don't see anything. What? I don't see anything over here. I don't see... Next, you're going to tell me it's waving at you. You should try sleeping instead of, you know, choosing not to sleep. Paper Plane TF, Toy Guy is lying. Paper Plane TF, it's really bold of you to come in here and just start accusing a member of my chat that they're lying. Do you have documentation to prove this? Because otherwise, you know, I think that's a little vexatious of you, if not a little bit anti-disestablishmentarianism, and something should be done about it. Speaking of doing something about it, what if I fished out the crew? Yeah, that's right. All of the original Deluxe Insecticons, all 5 of them, are right here, and saying hello to you. Saying a mod is lying? Anyway, yeah, we got Venin, we got Ransack, we got Bumshell, for Barrage, and then we got Raider, no, not Raider Chop Shop, and the other one. Yeah, Malleus Minotaurus. The Mail Hammer. See, those don't know. The folks at Wizards of the Coast back in 2018, in an interview with us, which is still on YouTube, you can still listen to it in WTF at TCG, went out of their way to mention that promo card character Smashdown is, by the way, female. When I said Smashdown, yeah, what she is about is turning into a hammer. I was like, oh, we didn't know. Thank you for letting me know. So all I'm saying is, the fine folks at Weebs of the Shore, sorry, Wizards of the Coast, are you saying they were lying? Yeah, it was the TCG people, who at the time had an inline on that stuff, and were very, very pointedly making sure to point out Smashdown is female. And I was like, well, okay. And then apparently even the rest of Hasbro either weren't aware or forgot. Weebs of the Shore, by the way, are an actual company. They make a card game called Grand Archive that I looked into because I heard it was mechanically interesting. And it's very mechanically interesting. I kind of like the way that it looks like it plays. But I researched on like how to play it as far as like actually getting cards, and it looked complicated, and I don't actually know anywhere in Toronto that is currently playing it except for there's a place by Chinatown apparently that has weekly Grand Archive. Nova Storm, I believe, also confirmed female thanks to the TCG, which referred to her effects saying or referred to her in her effects as she/her. I'm like 3 years behind on Grand Archive now. Oh, jeez. All I know is they have these recollection decks that are apparently really sick, and then whenever I look them up, they're like They're either expensive or they were on hella sale and then already sold out. And I was like, well, this is too confusing. I should probably just stick with the other, like, 3.5 games I'm playing. Magicians of the Boardwalk is my upcoming print-and-play exclusive games company. I'm happy and proud to announce. Yeah, it seems like Novastorm just got to keep it, which is really cool. Because it's nice to have a sort of like, you know, canon only means so much with Transformers, what with there being a bajillion continuities and, like, you know, sort of just like a couple of general vicinity monomyths, which I don't mind. But it's neat that, like, there is a non-slipstream female seeker who is usually just taken as granted as being female now, who just is there. Whoa! And it's just like, yeah, it's Novastorm. We all know this. I am a Novastorm fan of her TCG card. It's an odd, kind of niche-y effect, but I have had great success with it in metas past. Well, great success. It played okay in metas past. But I had a good time. Acid Storm is sometimes a girl. But Novastorm is, like, almost always, basically. So it's always Novastorm, sometimes Acid Storm. I believe the Acid Storm is just, you know, they pick every now and then sometimes they wake up in the morning and they're like, now we're going to reformat again. All right. That's as far as I understand, that's just how it is, right? I think they're she-herring Redwing now, too, because she uses the Slipstream body in TF1. Yeah, that works. Yeah, Maycat was like, yeah, they're gender fluid by gender and every, yeah, it's a fantastic way to explain what was like, you know, in all reality, it was probably just, hey, we put this palette on one model, then we put it on the other one. But why not have fun with it, right? Venom was out picking up pizza for the Decepticons, got home to get instantly killed. Yeah, it's only here, in the world of the Age of the Primes, where Venom finally gets a little bit of respect. Gets to live uniquely. You know, looks at the other three and goes like, wow, so you just started buying their clothes, huh? I thought we had an agreement that we were the better ones, and now you're just friggin' wearing their clothes. Sellouts. And then these three are like, listen, man, we're in the Mayhem attack squads. Uh-huh. We used to be called the Deluxe Insecticons. We used to stand for something, you traitor cowards. I do love that head, though. That's a good 80s ass robot ass head. But yeah, also, yeah, Venom is like, for some reason I'm calling myself Venom now. What did you do to me? I keep wanting to, like, get the knees to go, like, one more notch forward for that hero stance, and I keep forgetting this toy just doesn't do it. Yeah. Shop sold Venom's name tomorrow. Yeah, Venom showed up, and it's like, okay, so apparently I'm married to some guy called Eddie now? What happened to me? What did you do? Listen, the movie deal was very lucrative. They told us they told us it was going to be part of the MCU. We're going to get that Marvel money. It was going to be in Spider-Man. They lied to us. And Any thoughts on Super Sentai ending? I think it's really nice the send-offs that Toei did to give it some gravitas, like that stage show or whatever. I thought that was really nice. Obviously, like, you know, is Super Sentai gone? Like, not really, you know. But they are ending on a nice round number for the time being. These guys, what look almost exactly like Super Sentai, are going to be a thing for a little bit. And now to me, it's just they get to now reference whenever they want to do a big anniversary thing. You know, remember the 50 Super Sentai, and then, or, you know, I guess they can all technically say 51, Origami Red just showing up. And then, you know, they can have the whole squad, like, just show up for a big group shot or something like that. I'm gonna roll with this, actually. We don't count Akiba Ranger, like, that's against the rules. Yeah, Quacky, this toy is so cool. It actually turns into Barrage if you blink. The moment that I do, like, a little quick hand motion, like right now, 3, 2, 1, let's blink. And, whoa, it's Venin. Holy moly. But yeah, for those who don't know, Super Sentai, the classically source of Power Rangers footage and costumes and etc., had its ending, according to a Toei Tokusatsu fan club roundtable. This ending was the intent for Gozyuger, the 50th series, from the outset. It's just that Shirakura didn't tell anybody until they were already working on it and just tried to guide it towards being the ending. And I don't really think there's any reason to think that's like some kind of cover-up, because it doesn't make anything like really... In my opinion, that doesn't like suddenly fix anyone's, you know, issues with anything that's going on. It seems simpler to just assume that is actually the case. And they are now going to be doing Project Red, which is just going to be some perhaps slightly more experimental Sentai-like shows. They are starting with... is it Gavin Infinity? In which there are 3 Gavins who are led by a red one, but there's also a blue one and a yellow one. And they have changers that also turn into robots, so that they can jump into a robot to fight a monster if it gets bigger. And so basically they are just Gavin Super Sentai, but they're not called Super Sentai. They are called Gavin Infinity from Project Red, which is a very important distinction, possibly a very important legal distinction. Should there have been perhaps lingering agreements carried over to an arrangement with some company called Hasbro, who knows? There's a certain point where it's like everyone heard a guy say something and is incredibly smug about it. And so I just kind of go like, well, you're probably all at least a little bit right. Not to sound incredibly dismissive of Toku Twitter or whatever, but to also maybe sound incredibly dismissive of Toku Twitter. That's being a little bit bratty. I think it's like, yeah, a bunch of people heard half a thing, and if you put enough of the things they heard together, it forms a thing. None of this is in any of our control, so it's interesting to learn, and then gotta kind of, not move on, but you gotta do whatever the healthy thing is when, you know, one tries to acknowledge that something is interesting and also entirely out of their control. Will 2 of the Gavins be Clavier and Christophe? I can't confirm or deny the great work we've been doing on Gavin Infinity, but we're all very proud of it over here at Toei. Saw Metalder last year. Yeah, I gotta watch all of Metalder, because I watched a bit of it some many years back, and I really liked it. I like that the first episode mostly involves the hero getting his ass kicked by every single villain at the same time. G2 Pat Lee works for John Toei. Well, when you're this talented, you get around. But yeah, we got the... I'm really enjoying this little squad. They got some swagger. And personally, I'd rather take these 4 and put them with the core class Insecticons and call that the day. I just have to remember where on Earth I put my core class Insecticons. Did I say Consecticons? What does that even mean? Because I can't remember where I put them. This thing, telephone, starting to overwrite the old racist name here in the UK. No, yeah, that rules. Oh, yeah, I was, early on when we pulled this out of the box, Jansen, I was like, I like that that Venin here can kind of go from, like, demure to, like, raising everything. You know, like, oh, now you've aroused me. Now all of my vestiges are twiddling. The Consecticons, the consecutive Decepticons. What a interesting but kind of silly power to have. What do you guys do? We're consecutive. Does that mean you stand in a row? Yeah, man. All right. And they're like really into the fact that they stand in a row. Like, you want to see us do it again? For a bit of the cultural talk, the reason why Chinese Whispers is a bit racist is it's mostly based on the idea that a bunch of, if I recall correctly, British folks couldn't understand Chinese people, and thus said, you know how you can't understand Chinese people? And that was the source of that. That's why telephone, it's not only a bit more universal, it's also less racist, but it is also a bit more universal because nowadays, if you tried to say, quote-unquote, Chinese whispers, someone would be like, what are you talking about? And you're like, well, you know when the Chinese whisper to you? And they're going to be like, who are you? Why are you talking to... I'm just waiting for a bus. And then they're like, listen, man, I voted Brexit. Anyway, we've got one more box to shred. We've got some peak robot woman! Man, please leave my home. But yeah, this is a toy that I've also been holding on to since, like, late November. And I have been waiting. I have been waiting to... How can I make this really... How can I make this not worth it for anyone watching? I've been waiting as though the candy has been waiting for my fingers inside the wrapper. I've been working on a third-party add-on to give her 8 more breasts. It's so weird that that's the last thing he ever did before he died of a heart attack. And they just let the stream keep running. For like 3 days. Anyway. Opening a toy from 2025 and 2026. Is this time travel? Yeah. This is original flavor time travel. No barbecue, no salt and vinegar, no sour cream and onion, no goddamn sweet chili and whatever Parmesan cheese. Sea salt. Is this PvP? We'll get there. We'll get to the lactation arc eventually. It's also weird that no one ever found his body, and the live stream is still going to this day. Thought you Canadians preferred all dress time travel. No, we don't prefer all dress. It's just all of every time tourists come here, they're like, "You got those all dress chips?" And then a lot of Canadians are like, "Yeah, I got some all dress chips, sure, man." Actually, if it's in Toronto, it is specifically, "Sure, buddy, we got all dress chips." See, you kid. Actually, I like... See, you kid. But all the guys buying titty upgrade kits are the kind of hetero that 8 tits is too freaky for them. They just want normal skinny anime girl. And the thing is, that's true. And that's the real injustice. That's the real culture war. When I'm out there on the front lines going like, I would like to see some throbbing wet proboscis. And they're like, what's that? And you tell them, they're like, ew. And you're like, well, buddy, I thought we were all here for the same thing, getting digested before we're eaten. But no, apparently we're not. That's just how I talk. Hey, Mr. White, you ever thought about getting eaten? I was looking it up on the... We all remember the Vor episode of Breaking Bad. Oh, wow, these are loose. Luckily, it's ball joints. So I can tighten that. Unless this is mold release, it might actually just get tighter. It might just be some of that mold release. But as it is... Woo! Let's just do this for a little bit and talk more about throbbing wet proboscis. That's called Vor, Jesse. Jesse, apply yourself. Make an AO3 account. And keep it under control. Woo! Was this a problem for peoples, or is this just my toy karma coming back at me for having a perfectly fine Solus Prime? Isn't Proboscis the really unfortunate YouTuber? I don't know. I missed so many genres of YouTubers. That's not an issue with my... Walter wouldn't... Now, I like to think that drug dealer Walter, like, the first thing he did was just, like, look up, like, whatever his students were doing. And then, like, get way too into one thing. Jesse, I know everything there is to know about writing Vor. That was Tobusk. Oh. I still don't entirely know who that was, but I'm going to assume... Okay, here's my assumption, because those sounds sound familiar in my mouth. Is Tobuscus a Minecraft YouTuber who perhaps solicited viewers? Or am I getting that wrong? I admit my default setting when it comes to, oh no, unfortunate YouTuber from my childhood is Minecraft YouTuber who maybe started soliciting whatever from viewers. No, surprisingly. Oh. Minecraft, no. Solicit... Okay. Well... I was kind of hoping that the solicit part was the thing I'd be wrong about for once. We're putting a little bit of varnish in there and just going to squeeze it around because these things are hella loose. I don't think he solicited viewers, he's just a Nazi. Oh. I guess that's better. No? No, that's not... No, I guess that is... It's more ignorable. I don't know, why am I gonna rank, like, well, if we're gonna quantify being a Minecraft Nazi or a Minecraft viewer solicitor... Yeah, there's no... They're equally bad. It's not white liquid. It's clear liquid, and there was just a lot of it, okay? I can't help having a... Oh, he what? And what someone? Okay, that's worse. Yeah, we can't power scale these things. We just found a new name in the Epstein files. Jesse, is my methamphetamine skibbity? Mr. White, my deluxe class KSI lady has loose joints. Even the thigh swivels are loose. Holy moly. The hips are getting better thanks to my goop. Your Walter White is borderline Optimus Prime. Listen, I'm a generational talent, okay? Jesse, how do I support the channel and feed this machine? Would floor or nail polish fix this? I'm on the varnish because I think it's easier. It's cheaper to buy in more controllable sizes. You can actually get, I forgot what it's called, you can get a bucket of just the goopy part of varnish and skip the water content. Or whatever it is. Not water content, but the stuff that liquidizes it more. But this is more akin to floor polish. If it was going to be akin to one and not the other. The goop. Yeah, it's... Mr. White, I put my goop on! It's everywhere! Now that's turning into a different accent. Listen, I watched Breaking Bad and I appreciate it, and I can't maintain either of their voices. That's not a hinge. Okay. I do have goop I put in my hair sometimes, yeah. Anyway, now the main thing is I wanted her to be able to stand, and that seems to be happening now, so I'm very pleased. Goop is the Gwyneth Paltrow thing. The thing is, I'm taking it back for all of us. One thing I did learn from Diaclona's latest Diabytes short review piece is that the KSI Widow actually has very unimpeded neck articulation despite the hair stuff, because the rear hair is not actually affixed to the head at all. It's a separate piece, so it can look like it's there, but you can also still turn the head, and I kind of like that. I don't know if we want it. Look, I'm a bit of a pack rat, you know. I'm like, well, I think it's mine for the taking. What do I do with these? I'm noticing a distinct lack of 5mm ports on the weapon things. The thigh cable's on... Yeah, it's on little slidey things, and it's got like a little block here and a little divot for the block to live in, so they sort of lock in place like that. They clip onto the outer forearm. On, like, the bottom? I see the divot. Oh, there we go. That's weird. That's super weird. I like it. Means you got room for 2 more points of Evo Fusion. You're weird. Now you're weird! All I know is, I ain't never seen a gun come out of a forearm without there being a correlating 5mm hole in that forearm. I don't understand how these ones are holding on there. It ain't normal. She really does need some thigh goop. What is this voice? The voice of the people! I don't like the idea that the Spider-Man can just be out there without telling us who he is. Do my taxes pay for him? That was the voice of famous character KSI Drone. Jesse, the correct terminology is blaster. Mr. Whitey's got a gun! Blaster, Jesse, it's a blaster! I am the marketing department! This is already fixing everything. The goop abides. I'm not letting it cure properly, so it's probably gonna, like, shred off and I'll have to redo it. But there was also so much room in there, that perhaps the goop will simply continue to abide. I'm going to attempt to transform this robot toy into a car vehicle. Jesse, we have to Evo Fusion. Walter, I already combined with Jesse. How do you get these back off? Okay, there we go. By the way, I am sad to report I suspected this while I was messing with her. I don't know that KSI Widow has the arms to do a really good dab, but she's kind of got a little bit of a dab. Mixed with a tiny bit of circle game. Truth be told, Walter White seems like the kind of guy who would actually start getting mad and arguing with me if I said my bit about how we all got hot, wet skeletons in us. Whoa. A tiny dab should be called a dib. I'll run it by Parliament. But I'm not sure what they're gonna say. Kneecaps! Fixed. So can I just put it all in here and call it a day? Or do I have to pay attention? Ow. Feels like I picked up a splinter in my thumb from something, and I don't know. I think it's just funny nerve endings. Her color is giving me ROTF mud flap vibes. We had all this orange plastic that, like, you know, there was, the Pantone was all prepared for something. Who knows what it could have possibly been. And we can't waste it, you know? Hello, Nemesis Tomato. Why are these things flappable? Proto-birds be like... What do I feel pretty silly. Proto birds giving their feedback. I could just walk. Good question, don't worry about it. Maybe something stupid questions, something stupid answers. Oh, Mander, the twins are basically a great example of they can be both things. But also, they belabor the question just enough that it's like, maybe we're better off just leaving them to history. Oh, that went together easier than I thought. Ah. Here's another question. So on mine, I have very uniquely wiggly hips and thigh swivels. This connection here doesn't really like holding together in either mode so far. Is that a common thing, or do I have a super extra special KSI Widow? Because if I have a super extra special one, I'd like to know so I can celebrate. Mine has... Okay, that is common. Alright. Then I don't care that mine does that. I do have a misaligned door flap. Lego. Lego. There we go. Oh no, the wrong part is under the... There we go. We are applying the ape pressure. Oh! He's full down, hooray. So not asking for spoilers, but was my chance to put these on her in her, and it is now past? Damn it. Oh, we'll solve that. Incel title. Chat, has my moment passed? This seems real tight. This, maybe I'm picking the wrong spot. Your moment passed long ago. There's always time for one last kiss. Yeah, that's perfect. It's perfect. It fit perfectly. Her hood halves are going on the wrong way round. Damn. Yeah, someone gets it. We got some we got some Dorian heads in the It's the real hero of the movie, really. Couldn't get those things to tab in. Yeah. Oh, there we go. That popped in. Holy moly. Oh, I had to, yeah. Now they're just going in. It's like I had to squeeze together that last little micrometer of plastic. Oh yeah, Sport Peppers. That was our first figure that we cracked open tonight. Is good old Venin, as he is now known. I do think maybe my copy has some funny mold release stuff, because like the tolerances are getting better as the night is going on. Within reason, at least. That has happened to Transformers toys with me before. She rolls. It's a good, like, it's a solid toy if everything feels nice. My only exposure to this figure really was being told that she did the Prid Viacon thing, and then like watching Diaclona's short. So I would agree with the notion that, like, you know, articulation's kind of limited, but it's there and it does things. Someone in the short comments had said they had like a neat trick to make the hood pop up so it's easier to get this going, but I don't remember what it was. She got the Prid Viacon toes and entire lower legs. Hang on, we got some more Venom canon here from the Alterna chat. For instance. Yeah, there's Venom saying things in a comic book. Possibly me. It's been ages since I saw an Autobot get shot. And then, oh, the Kamen Rider shot. Yeah. armed hovercraft from Transformers TCG as well. Where am I? Oh, my windows. There we go. We were discussing Venom's storied past, and yeah, his iconic appearances over the years, because I asserted right up front, Venom famously never appeared in anything, so he's basically a blank slate. And I got wiki-dived. But it also, in my opinion, gotta prove my point. There's gotta be some kind of intended first movement on this toy, and I don't know what it is. Like, intended first movement that is not just, like, pulled down on things till something goes crack. There isn't, it's just a car now, you broke your toy. Damn it! I've had it months and I still don't know. She's been a car for months. Single use. The back just feels so tight to split. It's been a car for months for me as well. Turns out nobody's ever turned her back into a robot. Yeah, I remember someone on Li's short saying they got the hood to pop up by doing something, and I don't remember what it was. Wiki dive! I usually go with pulling the doors open. Ah! Okay. We are wiggling into the door gap. Have a good night, Shia. They call me the door wiggler. And now, for the very first time, I will be the first person in North America to turn Widow back into a bipedal robot. I can't just leave the guns in there as, like, super neato storage, right? Because this is gonna have to have room to curl in. Yeah, okay. Turn her into a quadrupedal robot. I guess we could try. Aha! Aha! Oh! I briefly had a chance to buy Deluxe Arachnid from TF1, but I didn't have the comfort, funding at the time to deluxe up leisurely like. Ah! And so she proceeded to disappear, which is only mildly faster than my chances to purchase Quick Strike dried up right in front of me. Duh! I could, yeah, if only I had a spudging device, but I don't need to live digitally like you Zennials. I'm doing this the analog way. But I would like to pick her up sometime because I've heard that she's neat. This do be analog horror when you rip your fingernails off. There is no... Never before has horror lived among us. Like Chris Vangelus's stirring epic. Arg, God, my fingernails just ripped off against my Transformers toy. Part 2. Ow, ow, ow. Whew. We doing Amogus in 2026? Because I'm here for it. No ankle tilts. Lazy Hasbro. Maybe spend a little bit less money on Harry Potter licenses, and a little bit more money on ankle joints. Damn. Who was that was just in the room? I just noticed that there were those things I never used before. That's a really cool way to store those. Even the unclean spirit today is not entirely wrong. Every broken ghost, is much like a damaged clock, is sometimes right twice. As the old saying goes. You can quote me on that one. Yeah, this is a neat figure. I wish she was a colder color, but that's just my taste. I want cobalt steel blues and very, very cold purples. Strange 4, you gotta watch the VOD at some point. On mine, her hips were dead-ass floppy. I gooped all the way. You can see some of the residue in there. I gooped all over up in her hip balls and in her thigh mushrooms. Because the both, on both legs, all 4 spots were flippity-flop. I gooped her up with the Vallejo. Listen, I'm a doctor, all right? Hobbyist grade, but you know, it's the thought that counts. You can't hit me with malpractice if I'm unlicensed. Actually, that's a pretty... I didn't think this pose was going to be much, but it's kind of looking at it up there, too. the lines are giving this some dynamicism I didn't really see until I put her in the pose. I'm a real fake lawyer, and what he said is true. Thanks for your service. And just hit the jetpack. Yeah, good stuff. Oh, did you all hear the sexy friggin' voice they gave Blackout in the Overgear clip? That jump scared me, like in the good way. It's like we finally hear an intensely movie-coded Blackout. I don't care, the animated one said sorry once. We finally, ignoring that other time, hear a movie-coded Blackout speak for once. And in all these years, it turns out, if we just let him say something, he would have been like, Kaiste morao. And I'm like, yo, you wanna stop with the vocal fry? It's already charcoal, but also keep doing it. I was waiting for him to drop a boya. I was surprised he didn't. These were the stars for today. Is there a Mrs. Decepticon Blackout? Sidling on up to his helicopter, leaning on it, going like, so, so hard being tied down, huh? Like I assume you are. JTLM, what is up? We opened up a couple toys. I had to put a lot of goop in her to make her tight. This is flopping everywhere. That be Mrs. Out. I'm going to transform Widow one more time now that I'm confident how everything works. I think I can do this without any pain. Yeah, the Overgear stuff is more quote-unquote real robot inspired. It has a lot of tactical mover Diaclone reboot vibe. It looks like it's using the same port sizes, like 3 and 5s, with very similar looking guns. I'm curious if it's the same scale. Like if you could put Dionauts next to them and they would look like normal people. His husband's name is Grinder. Isn't that how... Blackout's spouse is Whiteout. We're getting conflicting reports here. Here's the quadruped mode. I mean, she was supposed to be kind of Scorpion themed at one point, right? So here's the Scorpion mode. They call me the Widowmaker. Hiss, hiss. And yeah, for those who watched the short but didn't really listen to any of the words, the Ironhide in it is very much coded towards a Superlink Roadbuster, aka Energon Ironhide. He is talking to someone named Jones, which happens to be Kicker Jones' surname. He's also talking to some kind of lady computer called Oracle. He is part of the Autobot Resistance. The Decepticons appear to be working for some kind of evil government body. There is a bunker that they are stealing from. Because the katakana says banka, which could also be taken as a banker. And for a second, I was like, are we just doing Metal Gear Solid PMCs? It's more likely bunker, because there is a bunker in the short. So I guess I have to put the guns in here. T-Fan page. Yeah, she's I'm more impressed with the emotion her articulation is getting across than I was kind of expecting after the first transformation. It is definitely limited, but she's got at least like 2 or 3 like very loud poses to do. Overgear is not starting with an Optimus, but at one point someone does say Optimus, and then like Roadbuster says something like and then yeah, you know, stuff happens. Easy on the bankers. Banker just walks in the room and gets shot in the foot. It's like, what did I do? Sizer Prime, what's up? Welcome back from the walk. I am always a friend of Prid Viacon legs. I liked them in last week. We had the chance to pop open Age of the Prime's Wind Charger, and I liked them there as well. It's just a good trick. It's a good trick that should be used whenever it is appropriate. Overgear Glenn Mooreshower. I want Glenn Mooreshower to, when do we get the radicalization of Glenn Mooreshower? When do I get my over fictionalization of a somewhat real person face turn on some guy? I want to know when we get radicalized Glenn Mooreshower. when he introduces himself as Glenn Less Shower. Oh, the chatbot ate international banking. I used to be Glenn Mooreshower, and yeah, now I am Glenn Less Drought. And I believe in universal basic income. That went to car mode way more smoothly. I just have the thing everyone else has with those bits being a little bit smushy. I bet I could fix those. I don't think all the new T-Spark stuff is up for pre-order yet, so it probably I don't think most of the new announcements are up for pre-order, like Overgear and Cartoon Colors, Missing Link Grimlock, and whoever else. Yeah, Overgear pre-orders aren't up yet. My alter ego, Glenn Dry Towel. I like how no matter what happens, his name is still Glenn. Sitting here trying to think, what is the diametric opposite of a Glenn? Fjord Less Drought. I know, I broke it again. I don't have a robot toy anymore. Okay, so now can I... Oh yeah, Toy Rise Ryugano! Well, did Ryukendo come out yet? Or is that still not out yet? There's like Toy Rise releases I keep forgetting about. Like that video went up with the Toy Rise Legios, and I was like, when did this get announced? And I like looked at it for another second. I was like, oh yeah, that got announced a while ago. Are you planning to get Dragon Kaiser? Yes! I have Dragon Kaiser sitting in a private warehouse. I can't afford to ship him right now. Please buy some of my things. Or hire me to edit your YouTube or other videos. Perhaps for some voiceover. Okay, it is actually easiest to do the doors. Y'all were right. Because you can give the doors a little and that'll pop the seam, and you need to go butt and pop them out. Lego. Don't embarrass me in front of them. WFTFW when? It's in editing. There's 2 recorded now. So we have a flow of recordings at least back underway. Oh yeah, Nemesis Tomato. Everything I've looked at as far as Dragon Kaiser and a couple of friends who've gotten them in. It sounds like it's everything I was hoping for the most part. I'm starting to wonder if Bravern maybe was just an outlier of like, just not being like being fine as a Takara Tomy release, but not being like what I was looking for out of specifically Toy Rise. Because I should stress, like, I don't think there's anything really wrong with Bravern. It's just Bravern doesn't feel like the same line as X-Kaiser, and I was hoping it would feel like the same line as X-Kaiser. But I have also been told that the Toy Rise Genesis Gaugagar is really solid. I had to miss getting that one on time due to lack of money, so that's become a Mandarake quest now. Yeah, Jilksbert. Much love to our editor. Lots of life happening. Oh, hell yeah. The things that I learned, the reason why I'm like, it's not everything I want is because, like, my understanding is the Great X-Kaiser mode, you end up losing the waist joint and a lot of the Obari sword pose extra shoulder jointage. But also, I'm like, can I really complain about that? I mean, I can complain about whatever I want, but having seen a couple videos, a couple shorts on the thing, I'm like, nah, I see how that happened. And I think during the unboxing stream, it was hopefully coming across that I did not think that that X-Kaiser was going to have that many shoulder joints anyway. I really want to do videos for the Toy Rise stuff. I want to do some dramatized bits for it, which makes me, you know, delay things because I want to do dramatized bits the way I want to. But no, like I came to the conclusion that Toy Rise King X Kaiser is my toy of 2025. As far as if I were to name my own favorite toy of the entire year, it was easily that one. Once I put some thought into it, because it was seeing someone else say that was their toy of the year, and I was like, oh, can I think of toys I liked more than it last year? And I kind of sat there and I was like, no. So it's my toy of the year now too. Obviously, like, one's toy of the year is entirely personal. Like, there's no right answer. I just never. I always get annoyed thinking about it, so I usually don't. In this case, I was offered an idea, so I was like, "Oh, do I think that?" And then it's like, "Oh, I do." I wonder if Super Sentai bots could be in Toy Rise. I suspect they are too owned by Bandai. As much as one might say, certainly we all thought something like a Legios might be too owned by Harmony Gold, for instance. Or some. I mean, that doesn't make nearly as much sense, I guess. But I suspect Super Sentai robots, like, you know, coming from Plex design and everything, might be a little bit too in other wheelhouses. They are too owned. Toy Rise is Takara. I mean, you know, they're doing like they're doing a Legios or Legios. However, I forgot if it's G or J, for it's soft or hard. They're doing an Alpha fighter from Robotech Southern Cross in Toy Rise. Yeah, I like this figure. This is cool. This is giving me the same vibes as the one that always ends up next to me over and over again. Good old Stud Sir French Hot Rod. I like this toy too. Because I'll always forget how he works, and then I mess with them, and then I'll start remembering how he works and going like, oh dang, that's cool though. He's doing all these things that should suck to actually mess with in person, but then he just rides a line of doing them in a way that I like. And nobody likes Harmony... Not even Harmony Gold likes Harmony Gold. There's plenty of reasons to like Robotech, and there's, like, no reason to like Harmony Gold. Harmony Gold, like, makes Robotech harder for Robotech people to even enjoy. So it's like, we're all in it together. Usually you'll end up with, you know, there's always some argument someone will try to make about some license owner being like, well, thanks to them, we were able to, etc., etc. And Harmony Gold is such a burner of goodwill. I think that I don't think anyone ever really ended up in that position after, like, a couple years. Where it's like, no, I love Robotech. Screw Harmony Gold. I could have had more Robotech if they were less weird. And you could have. Tatsunoko apparently likes Harmony Gold. Oh, yeah. Oh, did you all see the Combiner Wars initial concept pictures done by... wasn't it done by someone from Tatsunoko? It was wild to see that credit on that production. How much to ship that fancy new toy? Oh, it's... What was it? I think my private warehouse number is like... It's like near 100 Canadian shipping. Because there are two Takara Tomy things. And Takara Tomy now packages everything like Sonicong does. Or any Korean robot company. So all the boxes are gigantic. But I have like 100 million days on my private warehouse timer, so it's not like I'm in danger. So I'm living in the past still, where like once upon a time I could get like 12 Sodo figures and then have them shipped for like 800 yen, unregistered SAL, and I'd be like, why would I ever travel somewhere when I could just order their entire country? Oh, Combiner Wars was Tatsunoko. Why did I think they were someone else? Maybe I just forgot that someone else was also Tatsunoko. I thought they were the whatever. What's their name? I want to say Plasma Sights Animation Studio, which is wrong. That is not their name. I don't know why that's the name I'm remembering. Is it Polygon? This is all, what do you call it? This is all now 11-year-old information. Right? Yeah, 11-year-old information. Yeah, it's the prime RID 2015 people with way less money. And what appears to be a very goofy showrunner. Tatsunoko did Prime Wars. Oh right, yeah. There's two trilogies. That's right. Tatsunoko did Prime Wars. Polygon did War for Cybertron. That's what it is. With MatPat Computron. See, the oranges, they kind of have similar color palettes in, like, reverse. Like, it's a different orange, but, you know, orange is orange. Oh, that JDF interview that I got given to put up. I was talking about JDF with someone the other week. It was, like, just the kind of, like... It was like reminiscing on kind of a goofy classmate. Jason David Frank, living character. Very sad story. I feel like there's going to be like a really bummer JDF biopic someday. Probably independently produced, but I just feel like it's going to happen sometime, and it's just going to be incredibly depressing. It sounds like he had some... I mean, it looks like also he had some really bad people in his life near the end. The whatever Legend of the White Dragon filmmakers who seem like... As far as it seems, they seem like they kind of stink. But no, JDF was the kind of guy who would, you know, he'd have like 5 lines in a Prime Wars in one part of the Prime Wars trilogy, and he would record like a 30-minute interview with someone about his role getting to redefine the character of Emissary, and it's like, Doc, what are you talking about? I say it with love. Because it's, you know, it's kind of like the JDF is posting again thing, right? You don't know what you have until it's gone. Yeah, what Legend of the White Dragon got delayed a bunch. It seems like the people making it might be complete monsters with regard to the passing of their lead actor. Possibly the way they were interacting with him professionally up until his passing. There's another one of those very Toku Twitter coded things, but I picked up bits and pieces of it. I'm severely warming up to KSI Widow every time I do this. She's got that organic stance. And then we got the Final Battle Evo Fusion Master Mode for Venin and Malleus Minotaurus. Oh, the bottom piece is like 4.8 millimeters. That just slid right through there. Yeah, it's barely hanging on. Oh no, it turned it sideways and it got tighter. I gotta go. I got a diabetes appointment in a couple weeks. I gotta go give them some. I gotta go give them a bunch of fluids, and they aren't even paying me. One of these days, I'm gonna find out that my fluids are worth a whole bunch, and I'm gonna be like, interest. 18% interest. Dealer's choice for the fluids. Take it easy, Nemesis Tomato. JT, what have you done? I'll take a look. I'll take a look closer to post stream, but the thing with, because I mean, I have idle blood work to get done because mine's all blood sugar based, but I always have to remember, because now I'm getting, like, every now and then I get into like a habit of morning coffee to get going, and then it's always when I'm close to having to have blood work done. So then I have to remember when I wake up, don't have the coffee because they don't like that. I have to have it afterwards. They're gonna Bitcoin my fluids. Marty! They Bitcoin my fluids! It's your kids! I'm gonna get you, JTL. I'm gonna get you. That was actual Doc Brown. I don't do a Rick. I do a Doc Brown only, exclusively. Yeah, it was weird because my extreme discomfort with needles was like two separate ones, because during COVID injections, I rapidly got more okay with having a needle put in to put a thing in me. And then I got real cocksure when I went in to get blood drawn after lockdowns were toning down. And the moment that they started to pull stuff out, I started to go like, and then I was super brave until I finished. I was like, thanks so much for taking that blood sample. And I stepped out of the office into an empty hallway outside the elevator, and I went like, and then I called my mom, and I was like, I want to go buy a hamburger, and she was like, do it. I'm like, okay, Mom. I'm a little better now. I still can't look at it, though. It sets off something in my head. I just need that Yusha. No, I never look at it being drawn. For unrelated, I think, reasons. I mean, obviously related, but like, I associate looking at it getting drawn with the time that I passed out in the chair when they were drawing blood, and I happened to look that time too. But I also had. I think that was the same. Yeah, that was the one. That was the one where I misunderstood what fasting meant. And so I thought fasting also involved drinking water. So I was like, okay, I can't eat or drink anything for at least 10 hours before I get my blood drawn. I can do this. And so I went there, dehydrated and starving, and then had 3 vials of blood taken out, and then rapidly deflated on the spot. And then they were like, are you just really afraid of needles? And I was like, I guess I am. Because apparently I turned like desaturated in tone immediately, and they were like, this is a fasting test. Like, yeah, I fasted. I didn't have any food or any water. And they're like, what do you mean any water? I'm like, I had no water whatsoever. I did it right. I did a good job. And they were like, all right, so you do need water, because we are technically extracting from you water with additives. I was like, oh! And so then I started, and then this is after they'd moved me to lie down on a doctor bed somewhere. And so I was like, oh, I understand. I started to get like, no, don't get up. You gotta stay there for 20 minutes. So that your water comes back. And I was like, oh, alright, I guess that makes sense. Wow, Chris Vangelus, what a funny story from your childhood. Oh no, I was a legal adult at that point. I had just lived a life that did not involve that. So I was highly ignorant as to any of the practices involved with being safely exsanguinated. And instead I was unsafely exsanguinated. That's right, Transformers don't need water. You can quote me on... Sorry, I'm just noticing the neck joint and realizing we can in fact smash down. When I spit on the floor and I say, I can't believe it's not lung butter, and everyone just looks at me and says, what are you doing in my house? And I'm like, I thought I lived here. Yeah, sometimes they make some pretty cool toys that turn into things. So it turns out. So it passes amidst the eons. Let me go take a look, see if there's anything else I wanted to talk about over in this winder. Some more gristle for the mind. So check it out. I found out you can do feeds on Blue Sky, so I got fountain pens for my... if I need to doom scroll, I turn to that for instant, less doomy doom scroll. There we go. Obviously I talked about our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. I didn't mention, yeah, Mattel got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It got overshadowed a little bit by Hasbro getting the less good license. But yeah, Mattel has TMNT. My understanding from seeing some of the chatter about it is if it's the master license, that means Mattel also gets to decide if Super 7 gets to keep making TMNT. Who knows if Mattel's going to be chill like that, like Playmates seem to be. But yeah, the other news of the day in the big old toy industry is the confirmation that Mattel is getting the TMNT license. Also, you want to see my fountain pen feed? Sometimes it's people drawing. It's a lot of people drawing. Yeah, but he needs to get these pictures of pens. Look at that. It's a vintage Esterbrook J series circa 1950s with a 2668 nib, inked up with diamine oxblood. I've seen that color before. It's a very popular one. There's a slightly more ready version of this called diamine writer's blood. Apparently was developed alongside the r/fountain pens community. And then occasionally you get these, like, very unrelated-looking threads that show up because somebody... I'm gonna guess it's in the alt text. Yeah, somebody wrote the word fountain pen. Anyway, very neat. People finding out Lammy has Harry Potter fountain pens. The funny thing about the Lammy Harry Potter fountain pens is everyone I've seen who has them, because a lot of people carry Lammy because they're a very big, very popular fountain pen brand. Nobody can even give away the Harry Potter fountain pens. Nobody wants them. They're just ugly Lammy safaris with whatever wizard club crests on them. I have seen them only ever on clearance sale everywhere, being unbought in my very limited experience, granted. Yeah, you also get lots of paper stuff here. Anyway, fountain pen discourse. Fountain pen feed. Always worth it. Then occasionally you just get a dude. Hey, man. Welcome to the fountain pen feed. Reviewing pens and stationery when. Having... Also, yes. Having watched a lot, and still it's become like my current comfort YouTube, watching a lot of fountain pen and journaling and notebook YouTube. It's a very crowded space, and a lot of the people participating in it have it as a main hobby, as opposed to me, who's just kind of like dabbling in it because I like using them. I do want to do a video about everything sometime. I'm working on something right now, which is making me realize I'm actually kind of into the idea of at least voicing over, like describing how to play some analog games. And I've wanted to do a video about my time so far with Flesh and Blood for a while. So that's one that I want to actually start writing soon. But I also wouldn't mind just like talking about my fountain pens. I don't want to flip through all my journals though, because I'm not being careful. So my main notebook, I'd have to be careful where I flip, so I'm not just like unleashing my raw handwritten ennui upon the world. But yeah, also I was quietly chuckling that like. It was, yes, the Harry Potter Hasbro announcement was probably slightly less bad a few weeks ago. But, you know, that's the nature of samsara, I guess. That was also, admittedly, I heard the word before, but I forgot what it meant. So I went to look up the meaning of samsara, and it is very funny. that it is like the nature of cyclic karma. But yeah. Anything else interesting in here? Hey, that's how I inherited some pens. When me and my mom like cleaned like 20 or 30 decades, well, you know, several years to a couple of decades dried out fountain pens. But yeah, calling your boat the Samsara is kind of like calling your space station the Icarus, I guess. Like, someone's gonna do it, but if whatever happens to you does happen to you, someone's gonna point at the funny name you picked for your personal vehicle and go like, well, you know. This is my skateboard, I call it the Roadkill. This is my personal car. I call it the horrific accident. Yeah, this is some of the fountain pen stuff. Yeah, the crab. If this is the person... There's someone on YouTube who has a couple of videos about fountain pens, and at least 25% of their videos that I've watched revolve around how good their little desk crab toys are at holding the fountain pens, and I was like, this kind of rules. I don't remember their name, because it was just part of, like, a long, like, I'm gonna turn on a bunch of fountain pen and just not really pay attention. But there was someone who was like, the ability for a fountain pen to be wielded by a small crab like this was, like, incredibly important. Porsche fanatic who names his private jet the 911. Oh, I saw this thread before. Yeah, this is someone... So, and, you know, thankfully I was, like, getting into this fountain pen stuff and then being able to just talk to my mom and my brother who have used them a bunch. But, like, it is a thing I noticed in fountain pen discourse, is people who are getting into it going, like, I don't know what I did wrong. It doesn't seem to be functioning, because, like, fountain pens are weird. But it's part of what made me start liking using them, because I like the hand feel of how they spit ink. But they're weird, and there's things that might feel like, oh, it's just broken, it doesn't work, and it's like, nah, there's like 2 or 3 things that could just be easily going on. It's why I have a turkey baster thing that I can use to pump water or air through a nib and feed. Some of them can be scritchy, but none of mine are. If they're scritchy, that means either they're really extra fine, or the tines are misaligned and need to be tweaked. You need to find a nibmeister to tune your tines. And then, yeah, I've also got planners and journaling feed, but that one accesses enough words where a good 25% of the planners and journaling feed is just unintentionally people kind of, like, talking about their therapy sessions. And sometimes I feel, like, a little bit, voyeuristic flipping through it. So usually I'll just search for, like, notebook brands and see, like, I wonder if the paper is good this month. I do have a dip pen, too. Let me show you. It's a little thing I found at an art store in the West Coast, but you can get them anywhere. It's by Sailor. Obviously not the best dip pen, but it's for my purposes. It's like a little portable one, and it's got, you can buy nibs for it. This is just a 1.1 nib, but it's actually, the little writing nibs don't come with the feed, so I bought a stub nib, because the stub and the fude come with the feed, and someone in town here had the stub nib. And so I tried out the stub nib, and I wasn't as into it, but then I just popped the feed out and stuck it onto this little 1.1 fine. And so this is what I've been using to, like, test inks out, because then you just get, like, an ink sample or a bottle, and you just dunk that in, and with that feed, you get, like, a page's worth of ink if you go full dip. So I just go like a quarter in to get enough to write a line or two. But you can get really nice dip pens made out of all kinds of cool stuff. Yeah, like, or actual quill. gonna get those transformable pens. The Sentinel Pen Optimus was always like just expensive enough that like I didn't really want it because he just turns into a stick. But no, isn't there like a knockoff on AliExpress now? I don't know. Maybe that'll be how I that'll be how I what do you call it? Infect the channel with stationaries. I'm like, oh no, this is all in the context of Pen Optimus Prime. It's just figuring. I'm just telling the people what they need to know. I'm here to save everybody. But yeah, that dip pen is what I use to like. I made my dip ink swatch page. It's like whenever I load a pen up with a new ink, I'll use the pen to like write it in here. But then on the back of this page, this is all just with that little dip pen. So those are all the inks I have currently. Some of them are bottles. Most of them are ink samples, which are way the hell cheaper and good enough for my needs. Then if I really fall in love with an ink, maybe I'll pick up a bottle of it. Get the Street Fighter Feet Girl pen. The Giant Jury pen. I mean, is it a cartridge converter? Is it a piston filler? Is it a vac filler? But yeah, the ink samples, because an ink bottle can be anywhere from like, you know, 15 to $40 depending. But some of the places in town here, like Wonder Pens is the easy one. They just sell these ink samples that are like, you know, $3 each tops. 5 of these I got in a mystery pack for $12.50, so I saved like, you know, $2.50. And also then I got that dopamine high of opening a blind pack of little vials. The only bummer was it had Diamine Desert Burst and Diamine Sepia in the same little pack, and I was like, I wonder what Desert Burst versus Sepia means. And so there's Desert Burst and Sepia, and like I can see in the monitor, like they do look different, right? But I was like, precisely, I mean, I guess I can see purposes, or everyone needs colors or something, but I was looking at the two of these and going like, I wonder what it was like if the same person who developed Sepia also had been tasked with developing Desert Burst, and I wonder if this was eager work, or if this was like, just one of those bad weeks at work. Yeah, like it's cold brown and golden brown. They're getting them in the same blind pack. I was like, holy moly, these are so close to each other. I mean, it's the same thing with depending on what it's coming out of. Petrol Axolotl by Octopus sometimes looks the same as Pilot Iroshizuku's Sui Gyoku, but Sui Gyoku does look brighter here because it's Pilot Iroshizuku inks have a lot of like layered qualities depending like what paper they're going on, what ink or what nib they're coming out of, how thick or dry they are coming out. Yeah, it's fun. I don't know if you can tell, but I also have I got a bunch of purples because I wanted to mess with a lot of flavors of purple because I happen to like that color. Yeah, it's a lot of some of these ink things, you know, like one of them is the red one. Ink Institute is the company. It's Ink Institute from their Metro line, Tam Shui Chinyi line, which means it's red. But the one I've been kind of high on is this one. This is Dominant Industries The Moon. I got this one a little bit sight unseen because I'd been eyeballing it for weeks, and then when I went to Wonder Pens, they only had one left. It's from a painter series. It's based on the painting The Moon. It's this really pretty, like gray, dark grayish, purpley bluish. And also, Dominant Industry have like this really lush packaging. And they give you one of these with every ink, so you can just have one specially just for that ink if you want. If you need to use that. But then you get like a bag, and you get this super pretty bottle. And then referencing my swatching page. Yeah, the little pipette thingy. The turkey baster I got is a giant rubber one. Like, it's meant for pumping. Kind of thing. But there is it's overexposed now, but there is the moon. It's a very neat color. It leans mostly like, it's kind of like tealy gray, but then like it makes me think of purples. And the scribble is me like trying to get like a block of it out, and then I scribble again over the top half to try to get a little bit of layer, like sort of one layer. It doesn't really work all the time. Oh, this is more overexposed than I thought it would be. I could always get you more of a blap of it by simply drinking a bunch of it. There you go, there's the inside of the lid. And then if we take a little corner of this paper towel I've had sitting around, boop, boop, boop. There you go. I'm blapping on stream. Anyway, I think it just has a very cool profile. I also like this ink living in its box because it's easier for it to be a rectangle than a round object. And also, fountain pen inks apparently really don't like to see sunlight. Venon's Sudden Moon Blue Kit Bash. If you want to see another interesting bottle shape, here's what the small bottles of Pilot Iroshizuku look like. They're hella pretty. And this is one of my little J Urbans. This one is, I did not use all this ink. This is sort of the second Larme de Cassis that I have, because I like this color a lot. And I lost a lot of this ink trying to learn how vac fillers work. So I had a few things where the vacuum filler, what's the word I'm looking for? Displaced a fair amount of ink out of the bottle whilst I was trying to fill it. That's why you do everything over top of paper towels. An actual Urban ink pot looks like this. Apparently my dad liked this color a bunch because we had one of these out west, so I was like, then I want this color. But I also happen to like this color. Yeah, all the ink stuff I've seen is all in glass bottles, which is, you know, it's also it's just kind of nice. It's a not only a fun hobby to pick up, but it's a hobby that's full of nice objects. Here's my little tub of silicone grease that I got from Wonder Pens to lubricate O-rings. And I haven't used them yet, but like Wonder Pens like just sold these for like a couple bucks. But here's some flat tip syringes, which much like that little turkey baster looking thing, this is for when you have, say, an ink bottle like this, right? And then all the ink is down at the bottom and you can't get the pen in there to get at it. Like you can't suck the ink out. So then you use a little flathead syringe or a little turkey baster to go pull the ink out, then just go and put it into your pen in question. But also, it means that this fountain pen paraphernalia, between the flathead syringes and, you know, this, looks like I'm doing friggin' sci-fi drugs. Like, I have to, like, shove one of these into my socket every other day, or I'll go nuts like Kane in RoboCop 2. Yeah, I'm doing tattoos live on stream. Actually, because the other cool thing I learned, which is something I'm not going to be needing to do anytime soon, but if you are using cartridges, right, part of the parlance that the community tries to teach you is once you've used up a cartridge, right, and it'll have a hole up here, you wash it out, you use a little baster or a syringe to refill the cartridge and stick it back in. You get at least like 5 to 20, depending on how mulched up the top gets, uses out of one of these before you really need to chuck it. And if you want to refill it and save it, you put a glob of hot glue at the top to like fill the hole, just on the top, so that you can snap it off whenever you want to use this as a cartridge. Apparently that's all like the fountain pen like secret hacks that people have been doing for ages and ages. So you don't need to actually have, like, a bowl full of ink cartridges. Like, you can reuse and reuse and reuse several times. And it's just up until the top gets so mulched from being plugged in and out that, like, it doesn't grip anymore. Because then, if it doesn't grip anymore and you turn the thing upside down to use it, then the ink might just go all over the place. And you're like, oh, well, that one's dead. Run it through a, you know, grinder, turn it into some plastic sausage. And Roshizuku, by the way, came in this little box, and like, what a sexy little box. That's textured. Mmm. Oh, I started drawing a picture. Sorry, I keep going on and on, but I'm excited. It says I met up with Jacob, and I was like, I'm not sketching in this blank little book I have. So I need to still finish it, but I was trying to draw Mother Metal from the short film I want to make. So I just did like a little outline and wrote her name on the side so I'd remember what I was drawing. So I got to come back to this, but I want to see like how it feels to like just like make some shapes and do stuff with fountain pens because they have such glide. Also from AliExpress, I got one of these for like $3 shipped. It was part of a thing with the pen. They were like, get 3 things and the shipping is free. And I was like, all right. So this helps hold parts of this book open when I'm using it. I was using one of these 85-cent ones, but this thing actually pinched harder and was leaving lines and marks everywhere and indents. And also this sticky uppy bit was way more like, I don't know how much you can tell. It's minor, right? But the difference in profile, it was actually really annoying having this thing sticking off the top. So when I saw this thing was super cheap, I was like, no, I want a flat one. That seems cool. And then I had a bigger pencil board, but it was bigger than this notebook. So I was like, it was sticky, again, sticky outy stuff. So this was like, I think, $4, but this one's better sized to like back the inside of my little books. The bummer is, though, I was hoping that this grid would show through magically. Somehow in reverse on the blank white paper, because the other one I have is cream colored with dark lines, and those obviously show through on a single sheet. These do not show through at all. So on this side, I got to print off some lines. You can get a PDF for those things anywhere, and then like get it laminated and just like tape it or glue it on the back of this. Yeah, in the States. Oh, I use my fountain pens to ink it. I could do that too. In the States, y'all got... I went looking at ours. American Walmarts occasionally have this, like, inexplicably nice paper with the, like, the cheapest notebooks they have. I forgot what the brand is called, like dollar store note or something. And like we have that brand, but we have the crummy ones. But some of them are made in, not in Japan. I think it's the ones made in Korea. Have like fountain pen usable paper, and the notebooks are like $3. But as far as I can tell, we don't get those ones over here, which is annoying. But whatever. I can't complain because I got Muji downtown, and they have like $4 notebooks with really nice paper as well. So I'm laughing. Oh, this cover, my mom got this like over a decade ago, because I was telling her, I think I told this story before, but I was like, when I was hyper fixating on all this stuff in December while I was visiting, I was like, yo, they got this thing called the Traveler's Notebook. It's kind of neat. It's like a leather cover, and you can like slot little notebooks inside of it. And my mom was like, hey, hang on a second. And then pulled this thing out, and then I remembered when she got this thing. So this is not leather. This is a Peter Popper Press Voyager notebook. You can still get these from like Indigo if you're in Canada for like $23, and it comes with 3 notebooks in it. It's perfectly fine. It's smaller than a Traveler's Notebook, but it's still a B6 Slim, and it's vegan leather, so it's, you know, not real leather, but it feels really nice still. And she'd gotten this burgundy color, and I thought it looked cool, and she was like, yeah, I'm never going to use it, so you can just use it if you want. And I'm like, all right. So I got this little charm for it I showed on another stream at an art store around here. Vegan leather is basically what they call faux leather now, is my understanding. It just sounds better. It's kind of a funny way to put it, I think. But it feels really nice. Like, as far as vegan leathers go, there are many deck boxes and card game things that use vegan leather, and I've had ones that felt way worse than this. So yeah, this thing is the little thing I was living in, or trying to live in, along with my A5 stuff. And I had these leftover, yeah, I think it just always looks like this. They molded these in. But I had these leftover stickers from Artist Alley, last TFCon Toronto, so I just like stuck them on here. Then I got this at that art store, because I was like, this is me, this little holographic sticker. Yeah, I mean, if this one starts to flake, then, like, you know, that's weathering, right? That's patina. But I've been pretty mean to this, and this thing is also, I mean, granted, I think it lived in a cupboard for a decade, but I'm pretty sure my mom got this in, like, maybe 2010, if not earlier. So I'm like, whatever. If it starts to fall apart super bad, then that is my cue to go on Etsy and go find a leather cover. They got billions of them on there. But yeah, I'm trying to rock a bunch of notebooks in here. I think I showed you all. I reorganized it again. I got an actual calendar, and then I got this little thin guy, and then I got the menu. This is where every time I cleared like over 100 tabs off of my phone browser. So whenever I get something that I'm like, oh, I should look that up later, I'm gonna just put it in the menu in the back. And then starting from the front, I'm trying to write in all the recipes I know how to do, and if I like see a piece of media and I want to write a little review of it, I'm going to try writing it in the menu. I also found these BotBot stickers that I had. So in the back of the menu, we got little dude pooping in the back cover. And then this is just my thing that I'm writing like weekly checklists in, and I got these little... I saw this trick on YouTube, so I stuck some Post-its on there, so I have a pad of Post-its ready to go. Did I see your stew meat thing? No, I don't think so. The absurd Jury Han pen in question. That's hilarious. There is the Street Fighter pen. And then these are the fake robot pens. Oh, those are actually in kind of cool colors. Dual form deformation is both a toy and stationary. Full of fun. You can buy one and get two. No, I can't. You're lying. You're saying I can buy one and have both a toy and a stationary. Did I see your... Oh, you mean your... Yeah, I saw the post in V Cuisine. Yeah, yeah. I love slow-cooked meat. This is where I'm journaling my Flesh and Blood gaming. And this is the sketch vessel. And this is just some stuff in a pocket. You can buy one and then buy another. Well, damn, I'm winning. So cute. Have you seen my Lockbee Quattro that I'm keeping my stationaries in? This thing is so neat because they make it so that when you close it, the pens interlock. So they dock into each other so they aren't banging together, right? And then, because on this side, you're only supposed to put 4 in here, but then I was like, well, I can fit this one in because there's like a thin pocket here due to the way it's stitched. But then I was like, they make tiny ballpoint pens, don't they? And then I found one in town, so I have this stupid tiny ballpoint pen, which is like a 0.5 millimeter ballpoint pen, so it writes like a pencil, basically. Like the wife of George Jetson? It's like a little bed for the pens. It's kind of cushy. But then I realized, like, it has these pockets on the front I thought was going to be for little things, but I was like, I can jam more pens in here. So I got a pencil and a ball or a rollerball pen and then one of these little like brush pens in case I want to like make inky lines. And I also have other pencil cases. They just aren't near me. They are not the ones with the fountain pens in them. Here's another fountain pen. This is Lamy, by the way. This is the German company. Perfectly good pens. And then if you want, you can get one of these dressed up in Harry Potter nonsense. It seems like maybe you can get a Harry Potter nonsense Lamy pen for like $1 sometime soon. Because nobody wants to buy them. Because, among other things, they are ugly. A pencil. Well, you know, a pencil. What is a pencil if not a pen wanting? This is a pencil I got during my art pen hyperfixation while I was caretaking my mom with her treatment, because there was an art store next to the hotel we were in for a week and a half. Look, a lead comes out. But it's got this big goofy twist eraser, and then I got a box of like, I think 2 more of these for like $2 or something, because the store was like, buy refills, and I was like, yes, I should. That's my cute little pen sleeping bag. Oh, you should use the pens, V-Rider. That way the ink keeps flowing. I also drew, I'll show you, I drew a picture of myself after I ate too much of my own cooking. This is how I dealt with having eaten too much of my own cooking. There you go. I gave myself a stomachache 2 nights ago. And so when I was trying to sleep, I couldn't sleep, so I got up and I was like, this will make me feel better. And it did, until I finished. So there's my amazing art piece. That was my dialogue. That was about the dialogue I could muster. And as far as I could tell what happened... No, those aren't stink lines. Those are pain lines. Because I didn't eat, like, literally, like, 20 pounds of food or something. But I ate food what created probably gas bubbles inside my gut. And I think that they were, like, tougher than my gut. And so it made my gut really hurt. Why were you wearing sunglasses? Because I didn't feel like drawing my eyes. Which is, you will find that is the, when you meet people in life where you're like, why are you wearing sunglasses right now? That is the answer they'll give you. Oh yeah, those, oh no, I'm thinking of something else, but I've seen lead holders too. This thing I saw, they make these, draw your eyes. They make these things that are like a metal grip, and then when you're using like a pencil sharpener, like a wood pencil, like a fancy wood pencil, and you want to use it all the way down to the eraser nib, they got these like metal little clasps. They're like a nice pen body made of metal that you like stick the nub pencil in and like screw it to like grip it, and you get to use that last like inch of the pencil. And I was like, what a good idea. You going in on new Bruticus? I have Vortex. So much like Devastator, much like Studio Series 86 Devastator, for whom I have 2 members, with Bruticus, well, I have Vortex. So, I can just, as it happens, it may happen. But I'm not pre-ordering anything anymore, for various reasons, such as business ain't booming. So I'm just playing it all by ear. So if I see it and I have some cash and I want to get it, then I'll get it. But who knows? I might have all of Bruticus once the 5th one comes out, or I might have all of it like a year or 2 after it comes out. I'm rolling with the punches, as they say, and just seeing how much I can maximize my dopamine. Yeah, Toronto has some very, how do you put this? Textured stationery stores, very lived-in, textured, non-franchise, very owner identity stationery stores, and they are dangerous because it's like you're in someone's house, and their house is dedicated to selling stationery, and so it's just cool stuff and weird stuff everywhere. And like, and then randomly, because stationery has its own like fashionable side to it. You'll just see earthy, yeah. And you'll see some stuff, you're like, oh, that's cool. Oh, that's so cool. That's like $10. Oh, that's so cool. That's like $5. Oh, what a cool little leather pen holder that holds 2 pens. How much is this? $75. Oh, why is that? Is handmade in Osaka, Japan, and like hand shipped to this store. I'm like, oh, right. Did you just walk into someone's house? Nobody can prove that. I was curious if anyone was trying to get rid of Legacy Motormaster and someone sold just the cab for $90. Wow. Wow! They just wanted Menasor, I guess, and had a 3D printer. Out of the primes you have, which is your favorite? I'm doing some math. He's the newest one to me, so I like Megatronus a lot, but also I'm quite happy with my Prima, and I like my Solus because her feet don't fall off. I just got a good one, and like Micronus actually I like too, but like I'm a Micronus enjoyer, and I don't really have much to say for the folks who are not enjoying him because like most of the reasons are completely fine. I just think that he's neat. Onyx is the one where I really wish that the hands transformed, because I think that would change the flavor of the entire piece. Because I think that, for me, what is holding Onyx back a little bit is that no matter which mode you're in, the hands are always the same. And I want them to turn into big, wide claws as an option. And so it's the one thing I want a DNA design, for instance, to do, is like, just give me new forearms that can transform the hands, and then that's going to be like the one thing they don't do. And then I'm going to be sitting there going like, well, I guess Oh, well, I guess you made a bag of little shards to stuff into every crevice. Don't have Amalgamus. No, I do not. I have not seen him. I don't have... the only ones I have are Prima, Solus, Micronus, Onyx, and now Megatronus. And technically Vector. I have Legacy Vector, and I also like that figure, because I like G-Axis. Yeah, he's doing the knuckle, and like the knuckle on the ground thing, I'm like, it's fine. It's just... if I were to point at one thing to change to make the toy suddenly feel like it's different and better, it would be like, yeah, make the hands transform, and pff, there you go. But I am excited to find and eventually pick up the rest. Like, the primes are the thing that interests me the most in the line, for various personal reasons. DNA Onyx update gives a saddle to be ridden. I warmed up a lot to Onyx and Micronus, because when I streamed opening them, I did the Lucifer eating the little guy pose or whatever, and I had Onyx eating little Micronus, and it was perfect. And I was like, well, now these toys are just really good. They're letting me reenact classic paintings, and what else can I hope for? I would like to eventually pick up the Star Optimus Prime, because like everyone I know who picked him up with eagerness said that it panned out, and yeah, Saturn. It sounds exactly like Satan. But no, the people I know who were interested in picking up Star Optimus when they did so said that it panned out, and it was a nice, big, chunky feeling guy. And I'm like, excellent. Titans just... the psychology... I've gone on about this before. The psychology of numbers for Titans in Canada sucks. So, it's very hard to feel motivated to pick one up, and I keep hoping I can just get a regret one sometime in the summer. Yeah, Kronos. Also sounds exactly like Satan. But yeah, that's my Age of the Prime's main wish. And like in general, there's nothing in the line where I'm like, I will never pick that up pointedly, because they all, for the most part, everything is like, yeah, it's neat. But not pre-ordering any of it does like take a whole lot of the pressure off. And it lets me wait until the summer convention season to see if I luck out and like find one, in a bag that someone is like, I shouldn't have done this was not for me, and then I can be like, all right, now I'll find out if it's for me. And yeah, it's like, Americans are now being introduced to the psychology of numbers that we have in Canada, where it's like, exchange rate is exchange rate, but it's when a price tag starts cresting certain numbers, you start going like, oh man. That's also why I just don't think about things like, how am I going to finish the set? I'm just like, whatever. Like, nothing's going to disappear forever, so I'll just pick up the ones that strike my fancy at the time. And then if I want to finish the set, eventually I can. It always works out. You can toil around a bit. It might take several years, but then that just means you find out whether you still care several years later. But that's also what is fun about having multiple hobbies, is if, like, man, I'm droughted on one hobby, and then it's like, well, what's going on over here? This made me feel pretty good. I like this a lot. And then or, where are they at? Where are they at? Oh, no, they're over there. I got to play Ultraman card game, and I got the 2 starter decks, and I got some pretty foils, and that's a fun game. That's I dare say a good game. Stealing someone else's line, but I would very much say Ultraman card game is an excellent second card game. Super fun to play, super fast to play, and they got art treatments that are super pretty. And that's yet another place I can turn my attention if I just kind of like, oh, what's going on over here? That's kind of one of the another one of the through lines in the various presentations I've given that, like, I feel remains very, very important and worth restating and bringing up, you know, in other places. Is like, it's if you find more that fit you, it's good to have multiple hobbies, because then you can jump tracks a little bit. Not even if one's going bad, but even if you're just like, whatever, I want to jump tracks, whatever. I'm gonna go over here for a second. I really want to see what's going on in the world of Vallejo ground textures. How's this one doing? Is it still wet? Oh yeah, that's still got the goop in there. Yeah. All right. This is something I like. This stuff. It is unnecessary because you can make this, but I like a jar of it that's already made, because then I don't have to think about it. Because this is just like acrylic and sand and like glop, and it's been pre-mixed. And you could make this with sand and PVA glue and some paint, but like also the jar wasn't that expensive, so I was like, hey, I'll get a jar of it, and I can just slap it all over bases of miniatures. But yeah, the problem with waiting, sometimes stuff doesn't come back in stock, but like I've found, like, in the medium term, what I would call it, the 1 to 2 year long window, stuff eventually does, you know, it'll show up somewhere. And then if it doesn't, sometimes I've been like, man, I truly missed that figure, and then I kind of sit there and go like, well, that'll happen. Does it give you visions of the future like the Mr. Hobby cement mixer? Let's get a little whiff of the old Tamiya extra thin. Oh yeah. The Jesus Christ, that lit off a cloud. Yeah, the glue clouds. The glue clouds are having some good forecasts for good old Chris Vangelus. Let me tell you what. What was that? I was gonna grab this. Listen, it's not huffing if it just shoots the cloud up my nose when I open the jar. Like that was... I wasn't involved in that transaction. I was simply a vector for it. Let me get a hit of that. Get your own! Friggin' people coming all up in my my Tamiya extra thin. I only got half a jar left right now. We gotta ration that. That was all Mr. Hobby himself. Mr. Tamiya. All I got is this jar of fix. All I got is this... All I got is this scorched frying pan of melted cough drops. Fancy man with his Tamiya extra thin. I don't think I've had any other funny updates of things I can wave around, but nothing is on hand. Skyseu just coming to say I was here in this Vangelus stream chat. You can't prove otherwise. God damn it! It's even on the VOD. I can't scrub that. You got me this time. Oh, there are gears turning and things happening, which is nice. So the next video is very likely going to be Age of the Prime Skybite. And then a video or two after that's going to be another G1 toy. So the gears are turning. I'm working on something else that I'll be able to share next month, which has been a little creative breakthrough on my end this past week and a half. I was near doing Nexus Prime stream. Was thoughts? I didn't really stream about Nexus Prime. I just kind of I think I happened to do a stream within a day of everyone being very loud about it. But I mean, yeah, let's see what they do, because like they have said they're making limbs. That is all they've said. Whether those limbs are retools or redecos or not, who knows? Probably one or the other. Whether or not it is reusing a frame or not, who knows? We'll see. Like, there is a critical lack of information for me to feel excited to speculate, because it's a fantasy-sized hole that is easily filled with Occam's razor. So I'm like, let's see what they do. I'll talk about it at the end of the year. Need a missing link review, but at the end pretend to discover articulation. That's a pretty good bit. Unfortunately, missing link has been a spectator sport for me, because I found every year I go at one TFCon, someone will have a new one, and I'll mess with theirs and be like, this is really cool. And it will also satisfy me, and I'm like, I kind of don't want to buy it now, because I think I got all the juice out of it I was going to get by messing with this other person's. So I've been siphoning juice out of other people's missing link toys. Which is hard to video, because I have to do it quietly. But no, like, Missing Link is like, very strongly designed vision of a toy line. I think it's very, very interesting, very fun to look at, and if money was no object, I would be probably picking up the line, because it's neat. It is academically interesting to me, and I like the noises the clicky joints make. Like, I have a Missing Link Cliff Jumper that I got on a deal at TFCon LA last year. It's just, Missing Link Cliff Jumper is kind of... I thought about, like, oh, I should make a video about this, and then every time, like, I might still, but every time I look at it, I'm like, I don't really know what to say, because, like... it does what it says it does on the box, and it's kind of loose. And that's all I really got. So I think he's neat, but I also had to, like, I had to put some of, where'd the goop go? Oh, here it is. I had to put some of the goop in him. My Sunstreaker's stuck at HLJ, you can't steal my juice. Wow, I already juiced somebody's Sunstreaker last Toronto! I think it was Andy Gogo Robo, I think it was his that he was like, check this out. I was like, oh, let me see that clicky leg joint. Oh, that's neat. And I was like, well, I finished. This is my current goop of choice. I had to put some of the goop in them, boss. I ain't afraid of no bat. Not when I know I could just put the goop in him. Miss Harley, though, she puts so much goop in him. I don't want to mess with her. She's got more goop than any of us. Yeah, this has been my thing I've been going on about for a while, of like, this does the floor polish thing, but it's easier to buy because it doesn't keep changing its name every few years, and it comes in a bottle that you can put in your pocket as opposed to a gigantic thing that you can put in a drawer and forget about. I mean, you could technically do that with this too, but, you know, I like things that go in pockets. Oh, yeah, Tron Lives. I think that if Missing Link really, like, just continues going from year to year, doing a Missing Link Scramble City Combiner will probably be a checkbox that the folks working on that line would I assume, probably like to check off. You know, they probably want to do some kind of Decepticon so they can Missing Linkify an old Microman toy, and then Missing Linkify a Scramble City Scramble City Combiner. It's Harley's big goop hammer. Yeah, like, you know, Missing Link is no longer a one-toy experiment, so there is a lot of room to start speculating on things. I still I still feel like there's not enough meat to work with as far as doing a Missing Link Megatron. I also think it'd be funnier to do a Missing Link Megatron who turns into a gun, but has the G1 Toys robot mode. I think that would be sort of the perfect full circle Missing Link story, is the end on Gaslight Megatron. Yeah, Missing Link Devastator, you know, lots of interesting ideas they could poke around with. I'm sure that in the case of like little guy things, they're probably trying to figure out like, I mean, I was gonna say like, oh, we got to figure out how to missing linkify something little. They did it with Bumblebee and Cliffjumper, two toys. As far as I know, it's fairly common that their ball sockets and slider joints can be a little wiggly on some copies. No, you said gun. I said blaster. Thank you very much. Oh, man, Missing Link Glacial Lord would be so cool. If that project still was alive and Missing Link came out, they absolutely would have been like, yo, add that to the whiteboard. Oh, did you all see, by the way, / PSA, I guess, Missing Link Grimlock has 2 fake screws that are sculpted in and painted silver to look like screws, because those screws were there on the original toy, but because of the new articulation, they're no longer necessary. But because they are following the thesis, they're like, well, those screws, however, are part of the original toy. So there is a fake screw on the inside of the back of the dinosaur arm sockets, and there's a fake screw, I believe, on the outside of the robot shoulder. And I love that. But also, everyone made the joke before I could, which was, there's also going to be the one customizer who's like, all right, time to take this apart and paint it blue. And then just sits there with the fake screw going, like, what is wrong with my screwdriver? It's going to be very funny. And Missing Link Buffalo Dump. The thing I want to see, because I couldn't, I looked and at a glance I couldn't really tell on that one picture of the animation colors. Missing Link Grimlock is like, so are you going to retool the screws off of the the animation colors Grimlock? Because then that's gonna get granular to the part where I start to actually fall in love with the project, like really fall in love with the project. If they get that persnickety granular, like that's the retool where, you know, the 2 RCs had like the 2 different head sculpts, like the sculpting difference on the Grimlocks is like, well, on the animation colors one, we smoothed over the fake screws. Because you see in the cartoon, he did not have screws. I think that would be very funny. You saw the G1 cartoon Grimlock screws in the show. Even the inside wing ones. Admittedly, I don't remember Grimlock's show model super well. When I was a kid, I always thought he had bananas on his wrists. And I never understood like what that was supposed to mean. Yeah, Tron lives. There's also fake screws on the inside of the, the wing things where the dino arms are hooked in. On the opposite side of where they're hooked in, they got fake screws in there too. And me, I got real screws in my VLC media player. Hey, thanks for watching this stream. I did two weeks in a row. I wrote in my analog notebook I am keeping. I wrote goals for the month, And one of my goals for the month, I was like, all right, it's not all turning out perfectly, but that's not the point of goals. The point of goals is to inspire. So I was like, all right, I should try to stream on a Tuesday or a Wednesday, and I should try to stream on a Friday or a Saturday. I only pulled one off last time, but I'm striving. I would like to see if I can fit that into how I process the world. Yeah, my analog notebook, as opposed to my digital notebook, the one where the pen Bluetooth signals what I write into a drawing app on my tablet, which then cross-downloads that into the Pictures subfolder system on my desktop, which then backs that up to a Dropbox, which zips that and sends that to a secret email address. But yeah, you all take it easy as best you can. Stay safe, double as better than you can actually out there. And I will catch you later. Until then, like, keep it crispy and make sure you stay tasty so that, like, you know, we can if we're on a desert island and, you know, nobody wants to eat bland
Let them come.